In the heart of Isfahan, the Hasht Behesht Palace stands as a testament to the splendor and grace of the Safavid era. Today, I invite you on a journey into the soul of this architectural masterpiece, where every corner whispers a story of Iran's art, history, and culture. We step into the serene space of Hasht Behesht. Above us, the gilded ceiling glows, not merely as decoration, but as a mirror of distant memories. Memories that still ripple through the delicate muqarnas, echoing softly in silence. Here, among the arches and slender columns, once mingled voices of politics, poetry, and perhaps even love. These very halls hosted emissaries from lands like the Ottoman Empire, India, and beyond. And at times, they were simply the quiet refuge of a king at rest. The sounds may have long faded, but these vaults still hold whispers of what once was. Time has settled on the stucco and stone, and yet the grandeur remains alive. But why was this palace named Hasht Behesht, the Eight Paradises? What secrets lie within its shimmering fountains and crystalline halls? Join us as we walk deeper into the mysteries of this elegant pavilion and listen to the untold stories held within its walls. Hasht Behesht stands as one of the defining masterpieces of late Safavid architecture. It was built in the heart of Bagh-e Bolbol, the Nightingale Garden, along the historic Chaharbagh axis of Isfahan. Historical sources date its construction to around the year 1670, during the final years of Shah Suleiman's reign. With the rise of Isfahan as a planned capital under the Safavids, garden design became central to Persian urbanism. Chaharbagh, the grand boulevard of palaces and gardens, was lined with royal and private estates, lush with symmetry and order. Bagh-e Bolbol is the last surviving royal garden along this axis, now reduced to a fragment, yet still whispering of the splendor it once held. The structure of Hasht Behesht Palace is, in fact, a two-story kushk, a pavilion at the heart of a Persian garden. In traditional Persian architecture, a kushk is a semi-open, elevated structure designed as a spatial link between built form and nature. It serves various purposes: a place for rest, quiet retreat, formal reception, or temporary residence within a garden. These pavilions are often conceived around principles of symmetry, centrality, and axial harmony, both as focal points within the garden and as architectural embodiments of balance. Hasht Behesht, octagonal in form, features iwans on all sides, semi-open verandas rooted in Persian architecture that open each side of the pavilion to a distinct garden view and connect architecture with nature. Its central domed chamber, adorned with fine muqarnas and richly decorated with delicate plasterwork and gilding, stands as a striking example of Safavid architectural elegance and craftsmanship. The name Hasht Behesht, meaning eight paradises, draws from a layered set of meanings. It alludes to the Islamic belief in 8 gates of paradise, while also reflecting the geometric logic and spatial symbolism of Persian architecture. With a number 8 evokes balance, cosmic order, and unity within multiplicity. The octagonal plan of the kushk, with openings in all 8 directions, creates diverse garden viewpoints, a deliberate orchestration of perspective and sensory experience. In this way, the pavilion not only embodies symbolic ideals, but also fulfills practical needs for beauty, ventilation, and light. The pools, water features, and surrounding gardens are integral natural elements that connect this pavilion to its environment, creating a serene and harmonious atmosphere. Water was not merely a scenic element surrounding the pavilion. It moved and breathed within the structure itself. On the southern Iwan, a waterfall was once carefully engineered to carry water from the marble pool on the upper floor to the level below. As it flowed down along the stepped and fluted marble surface of the Iwan's wall, it created a soft, rhythmic sound, animating the air, cooling the space, and giving voice to the architecture itself. Eventually, the stream would gather in a tiled pool on the ground floor, displaying its presence not only through movement, but also through sight and sound. It was a harmonious blend of engineering and aesthetics, two aspects never separate in Persian architecture. There are multiple historical and oral accounts regarding the method used to bring water to the upper level and power the internal waterfall. Some suggest a hidden and calculated network of ceramic, copper, or stone channels that directed water from upstream parts of the garden to the elevated pool. Others describe a device resembling a blacksmith's bellows, which used air pressure and specialized valves to lift water to the second floor. Another version refers to large wooden gears, a mechanical system driven perhaps by human or animal force. Despite the variations in these accounts, one truth remains clear. The water system in Hasht Behesht was complex and intentional, not only functional, but essential to crafting a multisensory spatial experience. The sound, movement, and coolness of water were all carefully orchestrated as part of the architectural design. Another remarkable example of this water artistry is found on the northern Iwan, a shallow marble basin known as Pearl Fountain. Beneath it lay a concealed system of fine copper pipes and hidden conduits. By exploiting the pressure from height differences, the system produced delicate, rhythmic jets, tiny fountains that rose just slightly above the water surface, combined with natural light and reflections from the mirrored ceiling. These sparkling droplets created the illusion of dancing pearls, the very inspiration behind the fountain's name. Here again, we witness a seamless integration of hidden technology, beauty, and sensory design, a hallmark of Persian architecture at its most refined. A fourth pool resides at the center of the pavilion, the central basin, placed at the heart of the building's cruciform layout. Above it rises a magnificent muqarnas dome. The presence of water and light in this central chamber adds a sense of gravity and focus to the kushk. Daylight filters through the skylight above, illuminating the gilded muqarnas and casting dynamic patterns of light and shadow over the carved surfaces. Together, water and light converge at the center, animating the architecture with rhythm, brilliance, and poetic atmosphere. The cruciform layout, known as Chaharbagh, represents a variation of the traditional 9-part division in Persian pavilions. It is a centralized plan where a square is divided into 9 modules. A domed central chamber at the heart, for axial Iwans serving as both visual frames and transitional spaces, and corner rooms completing the geometry. This configuration has deep roots in Iranian architectural traditions, from Achaemenid to Sasanian structures, and reached its pinnacle during the Safavid era, especially in garden pavilions like Hasht Behesht. In Persian garden design, the emphasis has traditionally been placed on the main longitudinal axis. The pavilion typically faces the longer side of the garden and opens onto it. although today a long pool appears to dominate the eastern façade, now aligned with a secondary axis. Historical layouts of the original Bagh-e Bolbol followed a north-south orientation. The northern Iwan, larger and grander than the others, was the primary Iwan. It was ornamented with two elegant wooden columns and the famed pearl fountain, offering shade and cool comfort in spring and summer. The garden's main pool once lay directly in front of this Iwan, forming its principal visual axis. The architectural proportions of Hasht Behesht are remarkably harmonious. Studies of the plan reveal that regular geometric shapes, especially the square and the regular pentagon, play a foundational role in defining the spatial organization and architectural composition. This concealed geometric order is not limited to the plan, but extends to the elevation, governing the rhythm and ratios of facades. It provides an internal logic that ties the whole structure together, a system that may be referred to as the Persian Golden Geometry, used to harmonize beauty, function, and symbolic meaning. Throughout the pavilion, numerous rooms are adorned with varied and intricate decorations, muqarnas, stucco work, and painted surfaces. Interestingly, even rooms that appear symmetrical in plan differ in decoration, depending on their function. Each space seems to possess its own distinct character, as Jean Chardin observed in the 17th century. None of these chambers resemble one another, neither in form, nor in architectural style, ornamentation, dimensions, or volume. On the lower floor, for vestibule-like spaces surround the central octagonal domed hall. These transitional volumes are essential to the geometric order of the building and mediate between the central chamber, the flanking rooms, and the surrounding iwans. At each corner of the pavilion, a series of rooms, both small and large, radiate outward like spokes from the core. Some of these spaces function like semi-open iwans, designed to frame specific views of the surrounding garden or reflecting pools. Through their openings, they bring light, breeze, and landscape into the heart of the architecture, subtly dissolving the boundary between built form and nature. The lower floor connects to the upper level via two staircases located in the northwest and southeast corners. The upper floor comprises a network of rooms, varied in size and layout, all interconnected through multiple doorways. A narrow corridor runs along three sides of the building, linking the rooms and forming a continuous circuit. This spatial sequence balances variety and unity, allowing moments of privacy and openness, enclosure and view. Thanks to the placement of multiple doorways, arches, and small iwans, the upper floor offers a wide array of visual perspectives, both toward the surrounding garden and within the pavilion itself. Two additional staircases at the northeast and southwest corners lead further up to the rooftop level. Despite the lack of strict symmetry in certain parts of the floor plan, a clear axial symmetry aligned with the garden's main axis and a centralized layout around the core space can still be perceived. This underlying harmony is a hallmark of Persian architecture, where spatial balance is often achieved not through literal symmetry, but through a deeper perceptual coherence. The architecture of the Hasht Behesht Pavilion demonstrates a series of ingenious design strategies that ensured comfort throughout all seasons. In colder months, gentle warmth radiated through multiple wall-mounted fireplaces placed strategically across the rooms and porches. During the warmer seasons, a soft breeze, carrying the fragrant scent of garden plants, would circulate through the numerous doorways, windows, and openings, keeping the air fresh and pleasant. Natural light was also subtly orchestrated. Entering indirectly through screens and skylights, it cast soft, shifting patterns of light and shadow on the interior surfaces, creating a serene and welcoming atmosphere ideal for private life within the garden. Although the thick mud brick and masonry walls inherently generate enclosed and heavy spaces, Iranian architecture has always sought to transcend this limitation, striving for transparency, lightness, and a crystalline spatial harmony even within the confines of dense local materials. Hasht Behesht stands as one of the last magnificent embodiments of this architectural legacy. Through a sophisticated orchestration of arches, niches, layered voids, and carefully calculated openings, the pavilion harmonizes solid and void, enclosure and openness. This design sensibility is particularly striking given the extroverted character of the pavilion, unlike the introverted nature of traditional residential architecture in central Iran. As a garden pavilion, Hasht Behesht embraces openness and visual connection with the landscape around it. The decorative elements of Hasht Behesht Palace reflect the pinnacle of artistic refinement and architectural delicacy in the late Safavid era, later partially overlaid with Qajar period paintings. In this palace, ornamentation is not merely surface embellishment. It plays an active role in shaping the spatial identity and sensory experience of the visitor. The harmony between decoration and architectural structure is such that each element maintains its own character while contributing to the unity of the whole. From intricate stucco muqarnas to wooden ceilings adorned with floral and avian motifs. From elaborately carved wall-mounted fireplaces to mirrored surfaces reflecting daylight, all speak to a deep synergy between Iranian aesthetics and the soul of architecture. The interior is enriched with molded stucco panels inside arched niches, bearing motifs of goblets, carafes, curling vines, and vibrant blossoms. Dominant tones of lapis lazuli, gold, ochre, and green, combined with painted wooden surfaces, added depth and warmth to the spaces. The ceiling of the northern Iwan stands out as a prime example of intricate mirrorwork and wooden framing, perfectly aligned with the surrounding columns and arches to reinforce the visual and geometric cohesion of the structure. In some rooms, recurring vegetal patterns, tendrils, petals, and birds mirror the vivid colors of the surrounding garden, blending interior ornament with exterior beauty. One of the palace's most captivating spaces is located in the northwestern corner of the upper floor, a chamber known as the Golden Room. Its exquisite decorations have been carefully preserved and restored, now shining like a treasury of color and form. The harmony of hues is striking, radiant gold set against warm ochre, vibrant turquoise, and deep ultramarine, all intertwined in arabesque and floral motifs, creating an atmosphere both mysterious and majestic. The exterior of the Hasht Behesht Pavilion is no less adorned than its interior. Decorative brickwork, ornate framing, and vibrant seven-color tiles featuring floral, avian, and animal motifs transform the outer façade into an extension of the surrounding garden. By the 18th century, the tradition of decorating both interior and exterior surfaces had reached new levels of refinement. The integration of ornamental elements with the building's structural frame exemplifies the harmony between architecture and decoration. The animal motifs carry meaning beyond mere embellishment. They are deeply symbolic. Birds, lions, gazelles, and mythical creatures such as dragons form part of the pavilion's visual language. In Iranian culture, animals in decorative arts often convey mythical and spiritual meanings. Birds symbolize the soul's ascent. The lion stands for majesty and power. The simurgh represents unity, and the peacock is the guardian of the tree of life. The decorative paintings of Hasht Behesht are the result of meticulous craftsmanship, immense patience, and an intimate understanding of natural materials. Artists employed a delicate layering technique, gradually applying pigments to build up richly textured and luminous surfaces. The colors were derived from mineral sources such as lapis lazuli, malachite, and red ochre, as well as from organic dyes like madder root and pomegranate peel. Each pigment layer was carefully polished, then sealed and enriched with fine gold leaf or powder gold, creating a shimmering finish that caught the shifting light of the day. This refined process, characteristic of Safavid artistry, imbued the palace interiors with an atmosphere of opulence and timeless grace. Hasht Behesht is more than a historical monument. It is a mirror reflecting the cultural, artistic, and spiritual vision of its time, when architecture and poetry spoke the same language. Within its elegant walls, the threads of Iranian identity are still vividly woven, telling stories of beauty, imagination, and harmony. To experience this palace is to rediscover how architecture can embody both the soul of a nation and the universal language of art. If you ever have the opportunity to visit Iran, I warmly encourage you to explore Isfahan and witness Hasht Behesht in person. Stand beneath its arches, follow the light as it moves across the walls, and let the whispers of history speak to you. If you would like to learn more about Iranian architecture or seek professional insight into its history, design principles, or architectural heritage, feel free to contact me directly. I'll be glad to share further knowledge, resources, or guidance for your projects or research. And if you enjoyed this presentation, follow us on social media for more explorations of remarkable architectural works and ideas from both Iran and around the world, each revealing how culture and design continue to shape the human story.